worldwide illness and disease that people live with every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And funny of note, I was talking to my seniors earlier, and the number one, believe it or not, disability is depression. Many people take it for granted that, oh, they're just depressed. But when we talk about disability, we're talking about incapacity to perform specific areas of daily living. For instance, just one area of incapacity can prevent someone from actively function in life.
Mm-hmm.
And as you have sitting here with me, I have with me Jada Jefferson. She is the CEO of Liz Remarkable Youth Center, her nonprofit. And we're going to have a long conversation with her about her nonprofit as it relates to working with both adults and
Yes.
children with disability. But I want our audience to know, Jada, that disability is not just the person that you see out there in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Disability, like I said, is number one worldwide is depression. People who are unable to even get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's debilitating. They're unable to function and engage with other people. They're unable to socialize, sometimes not even eat, in which case someone
Yes.
has to take care of them. That is a disability. In addition, we have in the United States, wonderfully, which was passed in 1990
Mm-hmm.
by our former Bush, President Bush, who allowed for the completion of the ADA rules and regulation and
Mm-hmm.
laws in this country. Why does it matter? As I was talking to the seniors, have you ever gone to a sidewalk? I remember the days, because I was born back in the 60s, where you'd go to a sidewalk, right? And you literally had to step up onto that sidewalk. If you didn't step up onto the
Mm-hmm.
sidewalk, you
You
couldn't get
have
onto
no
the
way to get up
sidewalk.
there.
It was through ADA and all the regulations that and recommendations that came out of it that we now have a depression
Yep.
in sidewalks,
Yep.
which allow
The
people with
wheelchairs.
wheelchairs and
Mm-hmm.
walkers and canes to be able to walk up onto sidewalks without having to
Without
lift their
having to,
legs,
do
for
that
which they're
extra work.
incapable of. Can you imagine just standing at the side of the road and unable to get onto a sidewalk?
Mm-hmm.
that that is debilitating, you know, and it's also in many ways demeaning. Take for instance, we are so much using technology today. We're utilizing computers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that individuals who are visually impaired, blind or near blind, or maybe only have vision in one eye and the other eye is compromised, when you look at a screen, you and I take it for granted
Yep.
what we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
But we now have regulations in place that allows you, someone who has visual impairments, to click on an icon in the corner of the screen for which the letters will become larger and the font will change and the coloring will change so
Mm-hmm.
that they are able to see better
It's an
with their
easier
visual
process for 'em.
disability. Individuals who are hearing impaired, that is ability, not being able to hear. Can you imagine standing in a crowded room
Mm-hmm.
and you cannot hear anyone in that
Anything.
room? Could you imagine how left out you could be not knowing? So now on our computer screen, you actually can make the site that you're on voice activated so that they can speak. And those are the wonderful advances that we have had
Mm-hmm.
with the ADA being put into law. But other things are also extremely important, and we have to continue to advocate for it and its covering. Imagine you having knowledge of computer technology, you're a master at the computers, you have an IT degree, but you cannot walk. And you go to an interview for a job, and because you can't walk, you're not allowed to even put your application in. Well, discrimination based on a disability has now been introduced and part of the ADH regulations. And this is where we have to stay alert and aware of what is going on, because there are a lot of activity out there which would like to remove these considerations
Yep.
from the books, that people with handicaps, people with disabilities are not allowed to be able to fight any discrimination that they experience. And so we must stay awake and alert. Can you think of anybody that any family that doesn't know somebody with a disability?
It's so hard because there's almost one in every family that somebody has some sort of disability, whether it's depression, like you said, and people take it for granted, but that is a disability. People think, oh, physical disabilities, cerebral palsy, things of that sort. Hearing, low loss of hearing, the eyesight being messed up, everything of that sort is a disability. Anything that causes you to need extra help in a certain area is a disability. So there's.
Yeah, I love that you said that in a certain area because you're right. Many times when we think of disability, we're thinking total loss,
Mm-hmm.
where they're in the complete wheelchair. A person may need to be fed, bathed, but you said a key word: any specific loss
Yes.
that impairs you. So tell me a little bit more about your organization because I did bring you here because I thought the work you're doing is so valuable.
Thank you.
Ms. Jada Jack, she's young. I know, I mean, young Lara to me.
Thank
And
you.
I am so happy to see the involvement in something as important as working with and trying to have a place to advocate for individuals with disability.
Yes, ma'am.
Where did it come from? Where did this idea come from?
Honestly, Councilwoman, the idea was just the love I have for helping people. I love to help people, and honestly, I feel God gave me the gift to help specifically people with certain abilities, which are disabilities. It makes me feel full. It makes me feel happy just to be able to see the smile on their face when I'm like just speaking to them, allowing them to understand that I am one of them because they're a human. They feel they're not human because of their disability, and it takes them away from being actually with us, but I'm one of them, they're one of me, and my job is to just let them know that they are loved and they have confidence in a voice within me. So that's honestly where it just started. And my cousin, he has cerebral palsy, and that's my baby. I love him to death, and just being around him, helping him, always taking the job away from my auntie, like, I got it.
Tell me, for many of us, not too many people are aware of cerebral palsy. How does it show up?
Honestly, it's more as far as in your bottom portion, just not cooperating, or your brain not being able to cooperate with your bottom portion to let it know to move, how to, get around. So it impairs them. Everybody's different. Like my cousin, his legs are just straight out, and it doesn't make him no different. He loves to get around. He doesn't like any help.
Mm.
He doesn't like any help. He loves to get around on his own. But it's just the thing of having to be in the crunches and not being able to mobilize your
And
legs.
communication. Is he able to request and ask for
Oh,
things he
perfect.
needs?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really important. Just because someone has a visible disability does not
Mm-hmm.
mean they have a cognitive or
Yes.
mental disability. And disability shows up in different forms.
Mm-hmm.
There's cognitive disabilities, there are physical disabilities, there are mental emotional disabilities, there's social disabilities. And I think that's important that you mentioned that even though has cerebral palsy and his legs don't cooperate, and are what we call spastic, very
Mm-hmm.
stiff, they don't
A
bend and
stiff
move.
manner. Yeah.
Um, Cognitively,
Oh, he's
he's
perfect.
he's he's able to communicate
Extremely smart.
effectively.
Extremely smart.
And so for many people, there's an uncomfortability with seeing people with
Mm-hmm.
disabilities.
Yes.
Have you noticed?
Very all the time. It's very common because we're the normal ability of us just moving around. You see it so much that when you do see someone that is of an ability, it stands out to you. So that's kind of my job to understand, to get people to understand that, just like said, even if they're in a wheelchair, doesn't matter, they're still human and they're still able to have those capable mindsets and goals that we put in place just like how everybody else has.
So do you think that it is, for want of a better word, rude to stare at someone with a disability? Like,
It's
ew, oh.
I definitely do feel it is rude because it doesn't have to be, anybody with a disability. It could be anything. You see someone in the store and you just don't like their outfit. We were taught not to stare. So I feel those same rules should apply to those with a disability because they are different, and it's not the cards that they replace, it's the cards God placed for them. So I definitely do feel it is a bit rude to stare, and sometimes people just want to be informed.
Yes.
But I definitely feel, I tell people, if you see it, you smile, you nod, and if you want to know, go online, go research for yourself, because everything is on Google for you to understand what's going on in their lives.
How, because you work so well with people with disabilities, young and old, how should someone who may have a coworker
Mhm.
with a disability, maybe have a family member, what advice could you give them in relating with um, their coworker, their friend, their not just someone at their church
Mhm.
or activities? What advice would you give them in relating with them?
As far as in relating, like said, just understand that they are human. Their disability doesn't make them anything less. So the same way you would go up to a random person and say, "Hey, I love your outfit," or "Hey, your shoes are nice," or "I saw you listening to that song." Make conversation, because at the end of the day, they want to be treated just as regular people, because they are regular people. So go up, make a conversation, just as you would do anybody else. They like things of that sort. Be very attentive. Some of them are very independent and don't like help because they feel as if it's a crutch and it's a hazard to them. But if you see there's certain things that they do on their own, but certain things that they can't do on their own, that they need a little help with, say, "Okay, I got this box for you." And they see that you're very attentive and you do watch them. It makes them open up. It makes them become comfortable, because it's the same way as any other person.
Correct. And I definitely want to piggyback on that. Um, People with disability starts with the word people. They're humans
There you go.
with the same desires and needs for love, care, support, attention. And before we see the disability, we need to see the person.
Yep.
And if you do have a coworker and you're working with them a long time,
Hmm.
develop a rapport, as you said. Find things coming out of
Yep.
interest. Maybe it's a meal that they like to eat. Maybe they're a
Hmm.
coffee person, and you're going for coffee one day. Hey, would you like some coffee
There you go.
or a
It's so
smoothie?
simple.
Hey, what? I'm going to run for a smoothie. Would you like me to get a smoothie for you? And if you pay attention, those who enjoy their independence respect the independence. If they say, I've got this,
Respect. Yes.
respect that the fact that
Don't
they
push
feel
it.
confident that they've
Hmm.
got it. And the best feedback you can give is, should you need assistance, I'm here. Um, don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to assist,
Yes. There you go. Perfect
without
answer.
making that person with the disability
Feel
feel
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable and feel less than.
Yes. And I always tell people, if you take the dis out of disability, there's only ability, which means they are able to do the same things we can do, and even more, because you never know. Somebody with cerebral palsy has nothing but time to just be online, research, figure out what their hands are good with, and you may have a whole computer tech out here and you don't even know it. So
Correct.
I definitely always tell them, never take the dis word and use it as it is what it is, because disability, I use ability, and ability means they do whatever they put their mind to.
Exactly. And your organization, tell them the name of your organization.
Liz Remarkable Youth Center.
Liz Remarkable Youth Center. And how do we get that name?
Because my grandma name is Elizabeth, and she's a very dear person to me. Even though I never met her, I've always grown up, I've always heard, "You're so much like your grandma, you're so caring like her." So I definitely wanted to put that into my name, because like I said, this is nothing but just a caring relationship that I have with my kids. The remarkable part came about because, like I said, I don't kind of use the word disability, I don't use the word handicap at all. Ability and unique talents, unique whatever you want to, unique talents, and just unique everything that they have going on. The remarkable means they show up, they show out, no matter what they have going on, no matter.
Show it out.
They show up and they show out. So my caringness, my remarkable stars in the center is just how everything came about.
Wonderful. I so love that you have this organization. And before I let Jada go, her organization is holding a toy drive on December 20th
Yes.
between
1 to 4.
1 to
1 to
4
4 p.m.
p.m. and she's now collecting toys, and these are specifically for our youth with disabilities or
Yes.
abilities, and we are seeking any donation that you could give
Yes.
for these young
Any
people,
donations.
and you can look on her website to find out where they can make those donations. And could
Yes,
you
ma'am.
tell the audience where they can do the donations?
You guys can do the donations either at Councilwoman Michelle Powell's office, and if you go on your maps and look up Garden of Soul Food, there is an address off of 183rd, which is the second location you could drop it off to. And I will also be taking Zelle donations. But like Councilwoman said, if you look on my website and on my Instagram page, you guys can get a bunch of updates on what the email addresses are and where everything is located.
Uh, that's so awesome. That's awesome because sometimes we know we have often drives, but for individuals with disabilities who can't get out and
Yes.
who are not able to participate or even know, they may sometimes get overlooked. And I really appreciate that you're doing this
Thank you.
toy drive for our disabled young people.
I just want to give back to them. And honestly, it's not even just the young people, it's all adults. I will be getting gifts for
Wonderful.
all
Oh,
ages.
that's great.
Yes, I don't want to
All
limit
right.
them.
Okay. Not just the kids' toys, but
Yes,
also
it's not
things
just
for.
kids' toys. I
Yes.
definitely don't want to limit the Christmas joy.
Yes.
God doesn't limit my blessings. So I would love to give back to everybody, all ages. So I do ask if you guys have any gifts of all ages, whether it's, just I want little things that you guys have to spare. Anything is fine, and I'm very blessed to have it all.
Now, I want to give a word about and giving, especially to as we address individuals with disabilities. In giving gifts, and these are for family members, I'm talking to family members and relatives that you may have, be consciously aware. If you have a family member who is visually impaired, please don't give them a book with fine print. And you might say, oh, this goes without saying.
No,
But you may say, my auntie loves the Bible. Let me get her a Bible. And yes, she loves the Bible, but auntie has two cataracts, that is impairing her vision. So take the time, extra time, to seek out maybe a Bible with
Yes.
large print and nice contrast so that she actually can use the gift that you give them. You have a friend who maybe is cold all the time.
I was just about to say,
You
even
know.
if you don't know, a
Yeah,
blanket,
a blanket.
throw
Aunt
pillows,
Grandma
something.
is always cold.
Every
Every
day
time you
use.
see her, and as people age, sometimes for different reasons, often anemia, they're cold all the time. So pay attention to the individuals in your life who has this ability, to the things they talk a lot about. Reach is one thing that many of our seniors in particular, I just came from senior center, and one of my seniors, I was demonstrating a reaching device that a disabled person can use for things that fall on the floor. You and I take it for granted. Oh, we just bend down and we pick something up. For individuals who have severe osteoarthritis in their back
Yeah.
and their knees and joints, which is by the third complications of disability, is orthopedic disabilities such as osteoarthritis, arthritis. A reaching device is an excellent tool that could assist them to become more independent.
Yes,
Imagine your pill fall on the floor and you're sitting there looking at it because you cannot reach it. We often look at phones and say, oh, just give me a call, Grandma. Well, for many phones, if you're not specific about the phone that you choose to give as a gift, it might have fine print.
Maybe too
It,
much.
the buttons, if you ever look at the average phone, the buttons are so tiny on the side, and it's challenging if you have severe arthritis. So if you choose to give a phone, make sure you look for the ones with the large buttons, easy to tap, easy to maneuver, because that consciousness needs to go into our gift giving as we work with our family members
Yes.
that we sometimes have overlooked that they do have challenges and disabilities. So those are some of the pearls I want to give you as you go shopping. Think of your family member who may have a disability. What could make their life more comfortable,
Easier.
more at ease, and feel loved and cared for, which is the words that you
Yes.
mentioned. And so I am so happy, and I'm
Thank
going
you
to
so
say it
much,
again.
Councilwoman.
We are having our drive for
Yes, we are.
our young and
Remarkable.
old,
Yep.
remarkable kids and adults. And it will be held on
December
December 20th,
from 1 to 4 p.m.
1 to 4 p.m. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
And for the audience out there, please advocate for the rules and regulations to be removed, remain, as we see many of the rules and regulations that have been put in place to prevent discrimination for our disabled people being eroded.
Yes.
It is time for us to advocate that they stay in place. Our disabled people want to have jobs. They want to feel as if they are
Yes.
useful and they want purpose. And as
Yes.
these rules are eroded, that will affect their ability to partake in the things that they enjoy, the job opportunities. So continue to be aware of it, and wherever you see discrimination against disability and individuals with disability occurring, be an advocate and a voice, and for yourself, support wherever you can. So thank you for joining me on this Healthy You. I want to wish everyone and their family a happy holidays.
Yes.
Continue to show love. And on a word for those, love is free. It's a gift that
That's
you can
right.
give at any time without going broke. So give love, give kindness, give of your heart. And being with someone and spending time is the best thing you can do in this holiday season.
Yes.
So have a wonderful holiday
Yes.
from my friend here,
Yes.
Jada, and from the council, and from myself, Dr. Michelle Powell, Councilwoman for Residential C3. And join me again on the first Wednesday in January for our next Healthy You podcast. Have a great holiday.
Yes. Have a blessed one.